fold nothing to a giant. Waited my turn, call it perfect time and trust the most high. Got the stars aligning, I was tapped in. I've been strategizing, dreams coming true. I've been fantasizing while you criticize. Pay attention to the signs, symbolize. Feel like a legend, they go idolized. Ayy, I'm a hero, wear my cape. Independent leader made a way. I'm the people's voice, your purple ray. Stuck to my pace, the turtle win the race. The trophies on trophies, views from the townscape. Change is great freight, then I had to skate. God told me time to go elevate. Chosen child, I'm the champ now, not a featherweight.
We all know there's an advantage to being the home team, to playing at home. And at LGKG, we have been your home team for over 90 years.
We're more than just a law firm. We're your friends, your neighbors, an advocate when life takes an unexpected turn.
We're not just lawyers that practice law. We live in this community, just like you.
When you need us most, we're at our best.
At MP Coney Island, it's all about the chili and has been for nearly 100 years since we opened in 1923. We helped put Newcastle on the map as the hot dog capital of the world. Visit our store, place an order for pickup at mpconeyisland.com, delivery with DoorDash, or find the grocery store near you with our chili locator on our website. Want to own your own MP Coney Island? Now you can with our franchise system. At MP Coney Island, it's all about the chili.
I guess, well, there was a great conversation here going on. We're on, right? We're on. Welcome to episode 5-7. To the glorious, the VentiSei glorious tradition. I had to read that. But anyway, thanks again. Thanks to my nephew Denny for being our sponsor. And the guys here tonight, if you don't know, is Ziggy Thomas, Preston Rayburn, Randy Rayburn, Chip Cautalesi, and Frank Pia. Bobby had something going on tonight at the stadium, so he can't make it. We got so much to talk about. Tony Raton was supposed to stop in tonight, but he had something going on in Farrell, so we'll catch him down the road. Before we get started, in 1947, New York Yankee catcher Yogi Berra hits the first pitch home run in a Baseball World Series history off Ralph Branca. Never heard of him.
Okay.
In the seventh inning of a 9-8 loss to the Brooklyn Dodgers in Game 3. In 1963, Ziggy, Sandy Koufax strikes out World Series record 15 Yankees. In a Game 1 of the World Series, Dodgers win 5-2, sweep the Yankees 4-0. You guys remember that? I remember.
I remember that.
Yeah. In 1974, future Hall of Famer right fielder Hank Aaron hits his final home run as a member of the Atlanta Braves in a 13-0 drubbing of the Reds. Aaron's 733rd career home run on his last National League at bat. I remember that. I remember watching that on television. The birthdays today. 1964, Sheila Eccles, American track athlete, Olympic gold 4x100. She was born 1988 in Memphis, Tennessee. Everybody remembers Steve Sable.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Steve Sable, American filmmaker, 35. He had 35 Emmy Awards for NFL films.
Wow.
He was born in 1942 in New Jersey. And Ziggy Gordy Roberts, born in 1957, American ice hockey defenseman. Stanley Cup with the Pens, 91 and 92. First American to 1,000 National Hockey League games, born in Detroit, Michigan. That's pretty good accomplishment, huh? 1,000 NHL games.
Yeah, he played for the Penguins.
Yeah,
a couple years.
yeah, he got 2 of them with the Pens. So that would have been Lemieux when Lemieux was playing too, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, anyway, Chip and Frank have to leave, so we're going to go right to Randy. We got to go to Randy. Randy, you're up. Go ahead.
Well, before we get started, I'd like to R.I.P. Charlie Hustle, Pete Rose,
Yes.
passed away at
Yes.
83 years old. And
Well, that's a discussion, huh?
they wouldn't let the poor guy in because he bet not against his team, but against other teams. And, he said he felt sorry for doing that. He takes all the blame, but he felt sorry for doing it. But here's what's going to happen, I think. In about 1 or 2 years from now, they're going to put him in because he's not here anymore.
That's a shame.
And that's a shame, because they should have did it while he was living.
Yeah.
So,
Well, Stephen A. had his take on it. Is that Stephen A.?
yeah.
He had his take on that today, and he said he wasn't real happy with it. He said it's
No.
a shame that they let this, there's murderers and this and that. Yeah, he was.
You hear two things, two schools of thought. You see, one group says, hey, the signs were clear in the locker room, you cannot bet on baseball. And, okay, that was true, and he broke the rule. And the other school is that if he would have came out right away
Yeah,
and said, I made a mistake, I had a problem,
yeah.
I was a gambler, blah, 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 and maybe that commissioner would have let him in. But the rule clearly states you cannot be admitted as of
That was
right now.
23 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
23 years ago. That's all.
Growing up, and I know everyone here, Preston might have been a little young for that, but growing up, and you're watching baseball, Pete Rose was the ultimate baseball guy, right?
He had over
Absolutely.
4,000
There's some
hits.
other names out there.
Oh, yeah.
But
Zig had over 4,000 hits, right?
That's
Yeah,
the
he
guy.
leads,
fourth
he
time.
leads the
He has the
MLB.
hits record.
Yeah.
Charlie Hustle, they
Charlie
didn't call him
Hustle.
Charlie Hustle for a reason. The guy ran, hit, I mean, he, 5-point player, he's all over the place. He just, led the league in hitting and just dominated the sport when other guys were just muddling along. He was the kind of centerpiece of that team, that big red machine.
When he walked, he ran to first base.
Yeah.
It's just,
Well,
It was
just like Chip
unbelievable.
said, he didn't get the name Charlie Hustle
No.
for nothing.
Yeah, right.
No.
And if I'm not mistaken, his dad had nicknamed him that. There's a documentary on Pete Rose on Netflix that's excellent. It's only a year or two old, I believe, that goes from his start with his father and how dominant his father was in his life.
Right.
And how he looked up to his father and just how he ended up where he ended up. But to me, one of the best, and there's no doubt in my mind that guy should be in
Zig,
Hall.
what's your?
When you think of the Cincinnati Reds, I always thought the '76 team was the best
Right,
team that I ever seen.
right,
And for as many Hall of Famers that they had, it was Pete Rose that just drove
sure,
those players
Right.
to every night go out and play
right,
and play the game the right way.
right, right.
And I used to hate Pete Rose back in the day, but I remember in this 1971 All-Star game, he was running from first to third on a base hit, and he did one of those patented Pete Rose slides
Head
into
first.
third base. And he looked like Clark Kent diving out of the Daily Planet building. But I thought, in an All-Star game, this is what this guy is doing.
That's it, yep.
And
He
then
set-
I
he
respected
set
him.
examples for the young kids playing ball
Yep.
back in the day.
and don't forget, he was also a switch hitter too. It was,
Yep. Yep.
Zig, you mentioned 76. I saw a picture of 76 or 77 Reds, and without their names, you could name every one of them. Because baseball was a lot different back then. Guys stuck with their teams for
They
a
were-
long time.
yeah.
Yep.
Like with the Pirates during that time. You
Right.
could probably name their starting lineup from the World Series.
You know, and I don't want to get off of Pete Rose, I don't want to throw it off, but I did not know this. I was watching a clip on my phone last night. It was Danny Murtaugh, who would have been the 71 Pirates. 71 Pirates, am I correct?
World Series, you're talking
World
about.
Series.
And Mazeroski was still on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was still on the team.
But he wasn't, he didn't
He
start.
didn't start.
No, but he was still, so he ended his career, like we were saying, he ended his career with the Pirates.
Yep.
No, and that's true. All those guys, Concepcion and all those guys, they all stuck. Johnny Bench. Now, I heard Johnny Bench, there was something, going on with
He
him.
made a statement yesterday saying what you heard in the press and in the paper was not all true. He
Right.
said, Pete Rose, one of my best friends.
Okay.
So it came from him.
Right.
So maybe the press have blown that out.
Right, I'm sure.
I'm sure they did.
Pete Rose
Imagine
definitely
that.
swelled in it,
Yeah.
you know. But, yeah.
Yeah, well, he was our idol back in the day. He was. And then we disliked, not that we disliked him, we had that feeling because they played the Pirates.
Right. You were a Pirates fan. You didn't
Yeah.
like any of the Phillies. You didn't like any of the.
Right.
of
wasn't it that All-Star game where he slid into home
Ray Fosse.
and Ray Fosse knocked him out of the game?
Yep.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
basically ended his
And
career.
in that
Yeah.
documentary, did you know that the night before, Ray Fosse and Pete Rose went to dinner together? How about that?
Crazy.
Never knew that.
Crazy.
They were good friends.
Interesting, so interesting.
But when baseball didn't get away with that. He ran right through them.
Yeah. Ah, great player. He was
Yep,
great for the
sure
game,
was.
you know?
Yeah, tragedy, just the way it all ended.
Yeah,
Yeah.
natural causes, they said.
And
I think he had I think I read where he had a bout with cancer, you know?
he was.
He
I
was- he
saw
wasn't
those
a
pictures. I
well-
saw he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah, he wasn't a well man the
Well,
last.
the Reds,
few months.
3 or 4 months ago, all went to go see him.
Yeah,
Concepcion, Bench. I didn't see Bench there. It was 6 or 7.
there was a picture, I seen
Yeah,
the
seen
picture.
that, they were
yes.
all there.
Joe Morgan guy?
Joe Morgan.
I don't know if
Joe Morgan was
there.
had passed.
Oh.
It was Concepcion. It was at least 6 of them. had went to go see him, because they must have known he was sick.
Let's face it, he was a good player.
Yes, he
And they had,
was.
and the Reds were good. They,
Yep. Oh, yes,
and
they were.
again, like you said, they stayed together all these years, and that's what the Pirates did all these
Yeah,
years, that's what the
pitching.
Yankees did all those years.
You're
So
right,
became-
you're right.
Go ahead, Randy.
All right, this week we're going to look at Jack Zarenzik. He receives another Hall of Fame award. Through the Seattle Mariners entered the All-Star break on a 5-game losing streak, Jack Zarenzik received good news. The 1969 Newcastle High graduate is one of the 7 members of the urn enshrined in October into the 2011 California University Athletic Hall of Fame. Zarenzik, 60, was 2 all-time conference catchers for the Vulcans and was team captain in 1972 and 73. He ranked second on the team with a hitting in 72 with an average of .359.
Jack was a good.
Yes, he
Good
was.
baseball player.
And he said that, I was very honored when I heard that, who was the Mariners Executive Vice President, General Manager of Baseball Operations. It's a good feeling. It's a part of life. It says that you did your college days. To go into my alma mater, Hall of Fame, is a great honor. Professional baseball came calling for Zarenzik after he graduated from California. He played 2 years in a minor league for the Chicago White Sox organization. You just always try to be your best, and you could be, and that's what I tried to do, Zarenzik said. I probably wasn't as gifted as other players I played around. I was a guy that gave everything I had, and I wouldn't be denied. I took my abilities to the limit. He's the son of Bernice and late John Zarenzik. Jack was inducted into the Lawrence County Hall of Fame, Sports Hall of Fame in 2009. He began his 29-year career in Major League Baseball as a scout with the Mets in 1982 before moving on to the front office roles with the Pittsburgh Pirates and the Los Angeles Dodgers. I didn't know he was with the Pirates.
Yeah, and then he was with Seattle
Right.
after.
He joined the Milwaukee Brewers in '99 and was the first non-general manager to be named Baseball America Executive of the Year. From there, Zarenzik went on to become Executive Vice President General Manager of the Seattle Mariners in October of 2008. Seattle is a great place. It's beautiful. It's a great community, Zarenzik said. I've enjoyed every job that I had. I always relished the job I had, and I'm doing the same with the job I have now. Seattle was 43 and 48 and in 3rd place in the Tour Team America League West, 7.5 games behind the division leading Texas, which was 51 and 41. The Rangers have won 7 games in a row. It's been fun, Zarenzik said. We've had 12 rookies play for us, and that's remarkable with where we're at. I knew we would get to the point of where we had to play the young kids. We're putting this thing together and hoping to stay in contention as the second half gets ready to start. I'm satisfied with the organization is doing, but not content with where we're at. And then the last year, Seattle complied 61 and 101 record, finished last in the West. Part of the reason Mariners have been able to turn things around quickly was first-year manager Eric Wedge, formerly of the Cleveland Indians. So,
Yeah. Zach, who was the list? Did you know the list who he brought in there? When they got good that year? Do you remember who the?
There was a left-handed all-star that they brought in. I can't remember his name.
Anybody know? Give us a call.
There was a list of.
And this
guys that
guy
they brought
ended
in.
up going to the Yankees as a free agent, I believe.
But he was the catalyst of bringing all those guys there. Is the list anywhere in there? Some of them players they brought in that year.
no, well,
John
he
Yurts
had
probably.
3 members of the Mariners, Felix Hernandez, Brandon League, and Michael Pineda. They
Seattle
played
was
in the
right there
All-Star
this
game.
year, right? Seattle was, they had a good year.
Yeah, they had A-Rod. They had A-Rod too,
Yep.
didn't
Yeah.
they? He had,
Yep.
and he took Robinson Cano away from the
That's
Yankees.
who it was.
Robinson
Robinson
Cano,
Cano.
yeah.
Gee, Frank knows that.
Dude, I was mad.
What a brain.
About
What
a
Larry
brain, I'd
say,
be
what a
dangerous.
brain. You know, I could tell, I don't know if I was gonna tell one story, but I'll tell one story about Jack Sorensic. I might have told you guys, we might have talked about it before. I'm in 9th grade, so remember the dances down at Ben Franklin? I don't know, was it King and Queen of Dance or
Yeah.
something?
Yeah.
2 weeks, I'm going, I need a haircut. His dad, Mr. Sorensic, had the barber shop down the south side. So Jack would fiddle around with it, you know. Jack was a 10th grader. I was in 9th grade because he was 1 year. We go in, myself, Ray Yarrow, Joe Hammett. We were all sitting in the shop. So who needs a haircut? Ray Yarrow goes, well, Sam's mom said Sam needs a haircut. I said, Jack, don't mess around. He said, just trim my hair because I had that kinky hair. What he does? He puts it on buzz, and he buzzed the line right down to the top of my head. What were they going to do with it? I said,
You gotta shave the rest
my
of it.
mother's going to kill me. She's going to kill me. So he ends up shaving it. I had like this, but a little longer.
A little longer.
My mother, she didn't let me in the house. I had to take, and I was taking my Connie, which was my girlfriend there. I had to take her to the dance. She goes, what happened to your hair? I said, Jack cut all my hair off.
Did your mother believe you what happened?
No.
Did she believe that, huh? What were you guys up to that happened?
She went with that story. What were you guys up to?
What were you guys up to?
No, he's a great
Chip's
friend.
gonna get into that profession here
Mike,
pretty soon.
definitely will.
He's
He
thinking
get
about it.
haircuts, yeah.
Yep, he's gonna give haircuts.
Randy, come down. Okay.
One big happy
One
family.
big happy
Can
family.
you imagine?
And Jack wasn't
It'd
your
be a-
greatest punter either.
He still got the record. I hope you look. Johnny told that story a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, Johnny told the story.
I gave him a
He was
note. I gave him that note when he met him at the game, and I said, "Hey Jack, just remember you still got the record for the longest punt backwards." In all defense of him that night, it was so muddy on the field. Remember, we practiced on the field. We didn't have a practice field, and the field was a sea of mud. Played Erie Academy. He went. He slipped. The ball went off his foot. Went this way.
Negative.
He'll deny that. He said, I tell stories. Jack, it's all for fun, buddy, if you're
Yep.
watching out there.
Where's the films at?
Yeah.
Dig them up. Chip, go ahead, brother.
Okay, high school football. Newcastle went down to the pit on Friday. Frankie and I and Bobby Pia, we drove down, and you know, you can't go down there and not play a perfect game against that team. They're going to do what they did to Newcastle to a lot of teams this year, and I still say that they'll probably make their way through and get to another state championship, but you can't make mistakes. I think we handed them 3 touchdowns, and you got to go down there and play your best game. And some of it is Aliquippa making you look bad because they're that good at every position: quarterback, wideouts, 2 of them, defensive line. Tyke Hayes is as advertised. I got a chance.
You
to
gave
walk
him a great
past him.
compliment saying to me that Chip gave a great compliment saying that he runs like Jesse Moss.
I thought so.
Said he ran like Jesse Moss.
Once he's in the open field, you can't tackle him one-on-one. Now, he's going to Penn State for a reason on a full ride. And, you know, the guy's going to be near 100 touchdowns. But I got a chance to walk past him with no uniform on. And he is put together. He's not tall, but he is put together. And in the open field, he's almost impossible to tackle. Guys just bounce off him. And when they get him out in space, and then they can dictate how they're going to get down the field and what they're going to do. There was more than once they had 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12, and they picked it up. They just have athletes all over the field. Our guys, though, they came after the first possession, Aliquippa goes down, and Kyrell throws another beautiful pass to Nate, and it's 7-7, and I'll tell you, the place lit up. And everybody's going, yeah, okay, but then Aliquippa gets the ball back, and they just go right down the field again. And they're just that good. They're a very good team.
Do they have a 9th grader?
I
He's
think
supposed
that-
to be really good, too.
I think they got a couple of them.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
supposed to be
and
really
Sam, the guys that transferred in there are really D1 guys.
Yeah.
That Larry Moon's for sure. He's good. That 15, I can't think what his name is, but they got speed all over. And Preston, what'd you see down there? Besides the talent that they have,
Just athletes.
just athletes. They're very good. They're a good football
But
team.
let's not count we can't count out Montour.
No.
Montour's pretty good.
Montour's good and West Day's
I
gonna
think
be good.
Montour can give them a football game.
And
I
they-
really
Montour
do.
almost beat
I'd
them
love
last
to watch
year.
that game.
They did. They almost beat them last year.
Frank, what was you gonna say?
I was gonna say that we have a very fast team, but our equipment's just as fast.
Yeah.
They
are.
can catch you.
Well, you know, knowing a little bit about football, because I coach football, when you get out, like Chip was saying, when you get out in the perimeter, it's hard. You have to be solid with your tackles. If you're not a solid tackler,
They set
you're
it
not
all up,
tackling,
Sam.
he's going away.
Offensively, they just get you in the wrong position, and they know
Yes.
they're athletes, and they get them out there.
Right.
And he's just a handful to tackle, and believe me, they're gonna run over a lot of teams.
He's a
this year.
senior, correct?
He is a
Correct.
senior. Near 100 touchdowns he'll have before the end of
That's,
the year.
that is hard to fathom.
Well, he had 20-some as a freshman.
Think about that.
Because who starts as a freshman, and how often does that happen?
I don't think I have that,
No.
but the stats, it's in one of the books and I don't have it with me. But Ralph Day had the most, he had the most touchdowns on scoring. Ralph Day, I think 32 and 34 in his career with, and Jesse Moss had 32. But think about this kid's gonna end up with 100 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's 25 touchdowns a year.
Yeah, it's not easy
That's
to do,
unreal.
you know.
It's
And they're in a lot of games, they play a lot of playoff games,
Yeah.
but I do gotta credit our kids, and again, did not give up, didn't blink, weren't intimidated by none of that. And they went out and they played the game, and they're just a handful, but credit to our kids, and kudos to our fans that got in their cars and drove down to El Quipa. We have a lot of people there.
Yeah.
Yes, we
A
did.
lot of
Yes, we did.
people. So that was another good sign. The community's getting behind them.
Sure.
They're following the team. They're interested. People are asking questions about the kids, and then also to El Quipa, there are people at the field as we arrived there. They're gracious and getting stuff for us. And
Well, they
getting stuff
got a
together.
superintendent over there, he's a no-nonsense guy.
Right.
He
I
takes
mean,
no.
it was a well-organized facility there.
Yeah, he went to IUP.
But I gotta say, our fans showed up in volumes, and it was like the old days. They showed up.
Well, that's good.
And that was that. The only other game I saw last week, again, Elwood, rolling again. They're gonna be tough to beat. I know you went to the Shannon game.
Shannon played Shenango.
What'd you see up there?
Shenango's quarterback's pretty good. Nice quarterback. I thought maybe they would play a little better, but, you know, the Shannon got some injuries. They got a couple linemen out. They have this, Kenny Carter's son's out.
Son.
He sprained his foot, but supposedly he's coming back, and they got another kid down. Aiken?
Aiken.
Yeah.
Aiken went out in the second quarter. I don't know if he got his bell rung, but I think they just kept him out. And
Who backs Aiken up?
the sophomore, Eddington.
Okay, yeah. I
He's
saw he
good.
had some yards.
He's gonna be the real deal.
So they're what now, 4-1?
They're 4-1. They're 4-1, 5-1. They're 5-1. And they got at Burgettstown Saturday afternoon.
Burgettstown, oh, Saturday.
It's a crossover
Crossover.
game. And then they go to Southside following week. That'll be a good game. Southside Beaver. They're pretty good. Then they play Southside Beaver. I can't remember that night.
Southside's in their conference.
It's hard to believe it's already week 7.
Well,
I
we were
know.
talking about that.
Don't blink, it's
We're-
over.
we're
Southside
in
Beavers
October
in their
here.
conference.
You know, by the end of October, that's it.
Yeah, Laurel's the last game of the year. They play, that 8th game, I'm trying to think who the heck they play that 8th game. I keep forgetting who it is, but, I mean, it's not it's Summit Academy. Summit's
Well, they're not that good.
Summit's
And now, you know, Newcastle gets this 3-game gauntlet. They get to go down to Montour
And West
and then
Day.
down to West Day. But
West Day's not bad either. I don't think they're as good as Montour, but they played, and we talked about it, they've played good teams on their schedule.
Yeah, they have.
So
West Day's
sometimes the
played a lot of
schedule
teams.
doesn't tell you the whole story until you start playing.
I think Friday, we'll see a different, I mean, Montour's gonna be a really good team, but it's a different kind of team.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna be.
Lose teams are they physically wear you down.
That's more
And
like.
we have to, Newcastle's gonna have to be able to withhold that. They're just a strong team with big kids. The quarterback's been around for Montour, so
I
it should
think
be.
if you say Montour, you think of like what TJ does. to
Sure.
people, and they just
Yeah.
dominate up front.
Mhm.
But that should be another good game. We're going on the road again this week. We'll move over to college football. I got a chance to watch that Alabama-Georgia game, and what a game. You know, back and forth, SEC powers, and how about the two freshmen? The kid that made the interception in the end zone at the end of the game.
There's so much
And
talent.
that Williams, that wide receiver, he's a freshman, but I think he should still be in high school.
He's 17 years old.
Right, he's 17.
Is he really?
And he made those plays. My Lord, what talent,
That's
body,
a good play.
control. That was a good one. Randy's team, Notre Dame, they won.
That's your team,
31-24.
That's your team, and you moved up 2 spots.
I seen that. Pitt was off last week.
That's my team, Chip. They play North Carolina this week
Penn State did beat Illinois 21-7.
at noon.
What else happened last week?
Is Pitt at North Carolina?
Yeah.
At North Carolina,
At noon.
Enzig, they're favored,
Are they
favorite.
ranked?
No,
No, they're in a consideration, right?
under
yeah,
consideration.
they're under consideration.
But their schedule is pretty favorable until they get to,
Yeah.
I know they play Cal, they play SMU late, they gotta play
Clemson.
Clemson,
Clemson.
and they got Syracuse.
I got a
who's not
question
bad.
for you.
Okay.
You follow college football, right? And listen, I'm not putting down anybody out there that's a Penn State fan.
Here it comes.
If you're a Penn State fan,
Not gonna put them down.
but do you think, or any of you guys want to chime in with this, do they deserve to be number 9?
Yes, I think so.
Right, right now.
They're 8-9.
Right now they do. Right
They
now.
struggle with Illinois.
They
They're
do.
7.
And they do that.
7.
They're
Did they
Penn
drop?
State 7.
Did they drop them down?
They're
I mean,
7.
Oh,
They went up.
I thought they were 9 last week.
no, I meant, but they put them to 7.
They put them to 7.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They were
I've seen a
9.
lot of their fans saying they shouldn't have been ranked higher. They're an 8-9.
Alabama's 1.
I think their
Texas,
defense
Ohio
is
State.
dominant.
Yeah, they got a dominant defense.
But if you're gonna compare them against, again, Ohio State,
No offense out there.
No.
I don't want
no,
to
you
get
gotta.
any hate
It's
mail.
just they got to win a big one. They just
Yeah, right.
to prove themselves.
But they don't play anybody.
They have to beat. They have to beat
Well,
Ohio
yeah, well,
State.
they do.
They beat
They got to
Ohio
play
State.
USC and they have to play UCLA.
USC, yeah.
They have to play them. They're pretty good.
And that was the knock on Franklin, that he hasn't won against Ohio State, Michigan. He hasn't beat them, and he hasn't won big games. He sort of got his back up against the wall too, but we'll see. It's all gonna play out.
Listen, it comes down to winning
It's called.
the college championship
Yep.
and in the NFL, the Super Bowl.
Yep.
It comes down to.
But,
I don't think that they have a legit Division I quarterback.
Penn State?
Yeah, I think this kid is the Achilles heel of their offense. I mean, Penn State is not noted for, having the best quarterbacks. They got running backs, they got linebackers, but I think Pitt got a much better quarterback than they do. I mean, this kid from Pitt.
let's
I think he's
talk
good.
about Eli Holstein because.
He's good.
He's really
He was
good.
supposed to go to Alabama, too.
I think he's a
I've seen
real
this.
deal.
I've seen him live when they played
I
YSU.
think he's a
I
real
know it
deal.
was YSU, but the balls he was throwing, especially the 2 touchdowns in the end zone, the guy could do nothing but catch the ball. They were in his hands. I am seeing a lot online that he's drawing a lot of attention
Yeah.
from other schools, and we're in the age of NIL. That don't mean he's going to be there next year. So that's just college football.
Yeah.
Pitt has a good backup. But this kid's special this year. He's playing good. He's carrying them.
Don't hop on the bandwagon when they do win.
Well, of course, I'll go to the game. That's for sure. If they go to the Sugar Bowl, I'll be there, Preston. I'll go.
Possibility. That could be a possibility.
Yeah, their schedule's favorable. They can win a couple big games.
They can end up 9-1, 8-2.
We got to
or
bring a
if they
couple
play
Pitt
12
guys in
games, they
here
could play
for
10-2.
our discussion. We got a couple guys that are Pitt maniacs.
Bring 'em down.
We're going to bring them guys down.
Bring them
here.
in.
And
Peepers.
these
Bring
guys,
peepers
these
in.
guys bleed royal blue.
You can go at it for 45 minutes for all I
They,
care.
besides the Notre Dame people that are
You'll
running
have to
it.
bring the Arab Parsegian of Newcastle, Robert Natel, down here. So
Does he like Notre Dame?
I think he
No,
does.
yeah, he
He
does.
does.
Oh, yeah, he's a Notre Dame fan.
Oh, yeah. Then let's talk about the NFL last week. We'll
Who won,
start with-
Bobby?
We'll start with, who won?
I don't know. I didn't.
Oh, that was hard.
I'll find out.
I had
Oh,
6
I'll
losers.
find out in a little bit.
I had a little better this week. I only had 6 losers this week.
I guess that circa millions in Vegas with the, were where you gotta pick the team every week. It's an elimination pool. There's 95% of people are already knocked out. And we're only in week, what, 5 here?
Week 5.
Week 5.
Or week 5. But Pittsburgh last week, boy, when you fall behind against them, and their defense didn't show up like they normally do, right? But the good part of that game, even though they lost to Justin Fields, is getting better.
He come to his
Right? Then I thought he played
He's a
decent.
quarterback. He had 312 yards.
Yeah, I thought he played decent.
His
I mean-
percentage was really high.
I mean,
He didn't have very many incompletions.
what was it, 13-0 they were down?
Yeah.
It's tough to come back.
He had
When you
312
have that
and
kind of offense.
55 yards rushing.
He's starting this weekend too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
They
doing
start-
Oh, he has
exactly what he
to.
has
He
to
has
do,
to.
and that's just move the ball
It's just that the
downfield.
defense wasn't all there. Now, the troubles on that offensive line are getting worse and worse. Beginning of the year, and I still remember Bill Belichick saying that Pittsburgh is good, but they can't be really good until they shore up that offensive line. And they've
But
got
it's-
holes now.
yeah.
They got 2 more guys out. One's out for the rest of the year.
There's two
Two
that are
guys
out,
now.
2 starters that are out,
So,
and then 1 backup is out.
so,
They're,
Indianapolis is no joke. Jonathan Taylor's a really good running back, and they can open up some holes. And the quarterback made plays when he had to make plays. Those kind of games happen. Your Dolphins, what are you going to say about the
We
Dolphins?
said we said it before
They
the
need a
show.
quarterback, definitely. He can't even drop back and hit anybody. I mean, he can't even get set.
Do you think their head coach is in jeopardy?
He could be. He could be.
But isn't he on a contract extension? No.
I thought he did just get an
He
extension.
He did get an
But
extension.
when you look at the injury, when you lose your quarterback, I don't know how you can hold that against the coach. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the front office should have been a little bit more prepared to have a decent backup there. I always liked that White that was with the Jets. And
Yeah, they cut him.
They cut him, and I always thought that, geez, he wasn't that bad.
No, he wasn't.
When you got wide receivers like the Dolphins do, you got to be able to hit those guys. You have to. I mean, it's
But I don't think he's on the hot seat right now. I think he, maybe later on, but I think right now he's just trying to get this team back together and glued and find someone that can, like Frank said, find a quarterback that can hit him. I don't know what they're gonna do. But Huntley just came on, so you gotta give him a chance.
Even a
He's
couple
learning the
weeks.
plays, you know, and the plays are different from where he was at
Right.
in Baltimore, but they gotta be somewhere
So he
similar.
started. I didn't watch that game. He was the
started.
He
quarterback.
started.
He started.
I didn't think he was a bad quarterback. I thought he did well.
He
backing
looked
up.
horrible.
How much
Yeah.
He looked
preparation?
horrible
yeah.
just because of,
How much
he just brought him
preparation?
on in
Yeah.
preparation.
Yeah,
That
I
took
mean-
that- he didn't have a lot.
Come in like that, that's gotta be hard. But the other game was the Ravens, I thought just dominated Buffalo.
Oh, yeah.
That defense was just, this Josh Allen didn't do nothing.
Cincinnati
So
got them this week.
The Buffalo team is the playoff Buffalo team. That's what happens when they get in the playoffs. They get killed,
Yeah.
and that's what happens.
And again, it's week to week in the NFL.
Well, I mean,
Exactly right, yeah.
first play, Derrick Henry goes, what, 80-something
Yeah, well,
yards?
yeah, he just took off.
No one touched him.
Well, I gotta
Kinda
bow
scary.
out.
Yep,
I'll
we
see you
gotta
guys.
All right,
Okay.
Thanks
See
for
you,
coming.
everybody.
thanks for
See
coming.
ya.
Get a hold of those guys for a Pit
Yes,
Panther
I will.
game. All right.
Come on over here, Zig. Have a seat.
This on this show, people, as you see, it's very relaxed, and whoever comes through the door, they sit down and start talking. So it's just
Who's fun?
somebody left their phone.
Hey, why don't you forget your phone?
We even left the phone here. But anyway, we're gonna get. You guys want to talk a little bit more about football, about the NFL? I mean,
Yeah, we can.
we said there was only 2 undefeated teams, and that's the Vikings and the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs.
And the Chiefs won another close game, 17-10.
Vikings had a good game
Vi-
Sunday
the Vikings
in Green Bay,
The
too.
Vikings
That's-
are not bad.
No.
Darnold looks
Yeah, I mean, there's a
He
lot of,
looks like a completely different quarterback,
than
Yes,
what he
he does.
was.
and I don't know.
Minnesota could be the team to beat in the
Yeah.
NFC.
They got a nice defense,
Yeah,
and
I still like the Lions.
The
Oh,
Lions
I
are...
enjoy watching
The Lions are a good
the
football team.
Lions.
Yeah.
Their offensive line is they're solid.
Do you know Jeff Goff was 18 for 18?
Mm.
Perfect game he threw.
He broke the Vikings record for completions. He didn't have no incompletions. He had all completed passes.
18 for 18. and
290 some yards passing, a couple touchdown passes.
Is there a game over in England again?
It's
this
the
week?
Vikings and the Jets. They play.
This weekend.
Yes. That'll be.
That'll be probably 9 o'clock in the morning our time.
That'll be another game.
9:30 for them.
9:30.
So I'll be in, God willing, I'll be in Cincinnati on Sunday. Connie and I were going down to watch Bengals play.
So Gino, good luck for us.
They won last week too. Carolina, they won in.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
said
it's
they're
interesting. The
Who are they
NFL.
playing?
The Ravens.
Ravens.
Oh.
Yeah. They play the Ravens.
He gets to try to tackle Derrick Henry. That's a big boy.
You imagine trying to tackle him.
Coming at you.
250
When he
Even in-
broke loose, how many yards did he run for that touchdown?
It's like 80 something.
He
First
looked
play.
like- he looked like a T-Rex
Yeah.
running, going down the field.
Yep.
And
And you can't go head on with that. You
No.
gotta go. You gotta go low.
I think he's with the right team, with the right system, to
Right.
where
Yep.
come playoff time, he could be the X factor for
Yes.
them.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Sure are.
You know, the NFL season is moving right along. And we've all said week 5 is always the determining time. Now they start getting buys and
Right.
teams start getting, they got a ton of injuries right off the bat. Then you start your healing with these buys so these teams can get back. And we've said this a million times. It's just like baseball right now, which we're going to be getting into in a couple minutes. Baseball's coming down. Who's the healthiest team? If I'm not mistaken, Detroit beat the Astros, right?
Yes.
So the Astros are gone.
They're gone.
They're gone. So it's the healthiest team who has the healthiest pitching staff. That's what we're going to be getting in soon. It's the same thing with right now with the professional football. There's a lot of teams that got tons and tons of injuries. Chip was just saying about the Steelers.
Yep.
The Steelers got a couple of linemen down. You know, and that
hurts.
yes.
That's
Does
huge.
the Steelers have is that the team that has the rookie center?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
he's
the rookie.
done.
Oh, he's
Yeah, he
out.
got
Oh, no.
No, he's not hurt. He's still
That other
there.
guy they drafted from,
Washington?
Washington.
He's
Yeah,
hurt.
He's
done.
hurt. He's
Yeah.
hurt.
He's
He's done.
Yeah.
No, the center's good.
Yeah, that center is not bad. First coming in and taking all that responsibility, you know, as a rookie. Imagine, he was playing last year,
At West Virginia.
yeah, and then this year he's playing on a professional football team. It's just, the ratio, we've talked about that a million times, the ratio of a player making it in any professional sport is very, we've said,
0.1.
way less, but less than 1%.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing.
But
you know?
and then they play the Cowboys on Sunday night at 8:30.
Yeah,
Malik's in town, and I mean
the Steelers play the
the
Cowboys.
Steelers play the
First time
Cowboys
they've met.
Sunday night.
Oh,
This is the
okay.
first time they met on Sunday Night
Yes.
Football.
Yep. 8:30 they play on Sunday night, and they won last week.
Yeah.
Cowboys first win.
They're
but
to me, just to me.
They're so
And I don't want to
unpredictable.
hurt any Cowboy fans. They're just so, and I'm sure some of them will agree with us, they're so unpredictable.
Yes, they are.
You don't know what team shows up, what quarterback's going to be there, or what, you know, I don't know.
Their run game isn't really that good either.
No. It's a long season.
They got Elliott, who's, not what he once was with Dallas.
It's a long
Oh, it's a long.
season.
Yep.
Long season.
I think they're soft. No,
Really,
seriously.
really.
Who?
Yeah.
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Well, I mean,
They look good.
I am just because of
One
the
week
week and
and
then you
then-
gotta root
Right,
for
right,
him.
right.
But I'm not. No, I'm not a Dallas fan. And
You don't know who you're going to get. The Saints go in and beat them. They almost come back against Baltimore. And then they'll struggle against God knows who else eventually.
I just think that the general manager or the owner has to he talks too much.
yes, he does.
He let the coach. You know, let
Right.
him, the general manager, let them coach and let him.
And what? He's the highest paid quarterback. Isn't
They
he?
paid their quarterback and their wide receiver, and you still got to pay Parsons. But with what money do they have to pay him? And he's already said he has teams he would like to go to if he doesn't sign with Dallas. He says
There's a ton of
Pittsburgh
teams would want him.
he would like to go to because of Tomlin. And I forget the other team he said that he would like to go
Who's
play
that?
for.
Parsons.
Parsons.
Oh,
He said
wow.
if he doesn't stay in Dallas, he said Pittsburgh and like another team. He said I would like to go there.
I don't think Pittsburgh. That would be a good.
Oh
That'll
yeah,
help.
it would absolutely.
I think they got to start looking at linemen.
Yeah.
Big,
I think they lost their backup lineman. or linebacker. Herbeck?
He's playing this week. Highsmith's out for a few weeks. He
That's
got
the
hurt.
one. Yeah.
Highsmith. Yeah, because Herbert plays on the opposite side of Watt because Watt's
Right.
getting double teamed, and that's how that kid's
Yeah.
getting around and making
Yeah.
and
You gotta
tackling.
choose who do you double team.
Right, exactly. And they're double teaming Watt.
Pittsburgh has the good rookie center. If Daniels is healthy, he's good, and Solomon's good. You just got to get your 2 tackles. If you can get 2 tackles, you'll have a line. And then defense, maybe another corner to get.
Steelers, there's something on, who's 21 for the Steelers?
He's
Looks
a
like
defensive back.
Oh, Darius Rush,
Yeah.
he got released.
he got released
He
today.
got dropped.
Yeah,
They're bringing in running backs and linemen this week.
Well, I'm going to go right to the NFL Sunday, then we'll start talking about baseball. Sunday, you got tomorrow night. You got the Buccaneers and the Falcons.
That should be a good game.
Tampa Bay. That'll be a good one.
Both teams are winning games.
Atlanta, they're on the upswing.
Atlanta's given 1.5
That's what I would figure
Wow.
it'd be.
total. Over under is 43.5.
I might.
Sunday, Jets and the Vikings.
That should be a good one.
Jets are 2-2. The Vikings are 4-0.
That should be pretty good.
Ravens and the Bengals at the Bengals.
That should be good.
2-2, 1-3. The Baltimore is favored by 2.5. Colts and the Jags.
That should be. I feel like the Colts should just.
Jags are -3. Dolphins and Patriots. This is interesting.
That
New
should be
England's-
an interesting.
That'll
game.
be.
Take the under.
The under's 36.5.
Ooh, yeah, I could.
Who's favored?
New England by
That's what
I
1.
figured New England would be favored.
On
for it.
ESPN, that's what they
I still think people pick
No,
New
that's-
England.
Are you serious? That game's going to be on ESPN?
No, he's
No.
getting it off.
I'm getting it from you.
He's getting it off.
That's
of
gonna
From
be
Miami.
Sunday.
I
That'll
love-
Fox. That's on Fox.
Fox.
Oh, God.
But you're going to see you'll us in the area unless you got the V-Box. Commanders and the Browns.
Or you have the Sunday ticket.
Yeah, Bills and the Texans.
That should
Buffalo.
be a good game.
Buffalo's giving 1 at Houston.
Who's Washington got?
Washington has the Browns.
Washington.
Browns is
Washington.
1-3.
And they're good too. I think they got their guy.
43.5.
It's a good quarterback.
They value Daniels higher than
I
Williams.
think Washington is
He's
the
a good quarterback.
Yeah, I think they're the team.
People got to
upcoming
remember he
team.
played for Brian Kelly. Kelly,
Yeah.
he basically runs a pro offense,
Right.
and
Yeah,
he
I
seems
like
to be-
Washington. I think the Redskins are good.
Something came out that said
Very-
they valued who they have now in Daniels over Caleb Williams. They had him higher than Caleb Williams on their draft board. They got their guy.
You got the Bears and the Panthers.
Oh God.
Chicago is giving 4.
I could
And the
see-
Bears are 2-2.
They got to figure out what they want to do offensively.
For the Bears? Yeah.
That quarterback's big difference coming from USC to the NFL.
Yep.
And you're in a tough conference now. You're in the NFC North. You got Detroit, Minnesota, Green Bay, and yourself.
they had
That's
that
not an easy
quarterback up on a
conference.
pedestal for so long.
Yeah.
And
He got his welcome to the NFL.
yeah, it's very seldom does the rookie come in and play up to expectations. But the Bears, they gotta have patience with him. that's
Yeah,
all.
he's
Right.
young.
Right. They got to give him a shot.
They're
so-
2-2.
Yeah.
They're not bad. They just
2-2 right
they
now.
set him up offensively. He has the weapons. He just
Raiders and the Broncos, both 2-2.
I'd figure-
Denver's giving 2.5
Wow.
well, yeah.
At Denver,
at Denver. That's a 4:05 game. Cardinals and the 49ers. 49ers are giving 7.
I could see that.
1-3 the Cards. 49ers are 2-2. The Packers and the Rams. I like Rams.
yeah, Rams.
Rams are 1-3 and the Packers are 2-2.
I could see
Green Bay's
Bay.
giving 3 at Los Angeles.
Oh,
Giants and the Seahawks. Seattle's giving 6.5. Giants.
Yeah, Johnson, they're not that good.
Pittsburgh is giving the Cowboys 2.5.
Wow.
Now this is ESPN. That could change. And the Monday night game is 1 game. at 8:15, the Chiefs and the Saints.
That should be a.
Kansas City's
That should
giving
be a pretty
5.5.
good game.
If New Orleans can pick it up offensively, that could be a
Yeah.
really good game.
So that's our NFL wrap-up. And Preston, you want to give us a little bit of insight with the wild cards?
Well, as of today, the Detroit Tigers sweep the Houston Astros and continue to remain red hot and move on to face the Guardians in the divisional series. And of course, yesterday, the Mets continue to roll after getting in. They win 8-4 against Milwaukee, who do we think, here we go again?
Yep.
Can't win in the postseason, but
Nope.
you'll get in.
Yep. They play tonight, don't they?
They have the 7:38 Mets and the Brewers again. And then at 8:38, you got the Padres and the Braves. The Padres got to be thanking the Yankees for Michael King after yesterday with 12 strikeouts. I mean, if San Diego can stay hot, that'll be someone to watch for. Then you got to, I think, goes to 3 in Kansas City and Baltimore. They're up right now playing. Let's see what that score is. Kansas City's up 1-0 in that. The Mets are up 1-0. Padres go up 1-0 as of yesterday. Tigers and the Guardians are Saturdays, that first game at 1:08. And then you have the Dodgers who await the winner of the Padres and Braves. The Yankees who await the winner of Baltimore and Kansas City. And the Phillies who await Milwaukee or the Mets. And as I seen today, the Phillies had an inter-squad scrimmage to remain just remain active and getting used to playing postseason baseball. So that'll benefit
Yeah, that's
them.
that was a long wait.
Yeah, it
until
was.
they played
It is.
over a week.
Yep.
It's the
You know,
best of 3 now.
You know what I didn't know? I found this out today. That wild card doesn't leave that. So if it goes 1-1, they don't move to another city.
They just
No, they
stay.
just play there.
They just
where
stay
they're
there
at.
for 3
Yeah,
games,
3
which
games,
makes
sure.
sense. You don't want to
Oh, yeah.
play
Yeah,
you
somewhere
want
twice,
travel.
and then you're going to one
Look
place.
what the
to win.
Braves did. They played San Diego, then they had to fly. Is that who they played?
No, they played the Mets.
The Mets.
They split, and then they had to fly out to San Diego that night after
Right.
the game.
And go play,
And then the Mets had to fly out to Milwaukee
Right, that's it.
that night because they were playing the next day. I know it was a later game because they played out in California, but still, they had to
Yeah.
leave that night to get out there to get rest to get ready for the game.
And if you're Arizona, how mad are you
Oh,
right now? Mets win the first game, and then go out and blow the second game.
blow the second game, or if the Mets would have won, Arizona
Arizona's
would have
in.
made it.
Right.
And then you see both teams, the Mets and the Braves, were out celebrating on the field together because they both made it.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That was weird. Why not try to eliminate them?
Right?
That's a different era.
Sure
Yes,
is.
it is.
Different times. You're right.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for that, right? For the
You have the Braves later on tonight. They first pitch is for 8:30, and then the Mets are at 7:30. So if the Mets win, they move on to Philly. If the Padres win, you
They
get a
move on.
battle of California between them and the Dodgers.
That should be a pretty good series.
who you like, Zig? Astros are out.
The
All in all.
I know the TV executives want the Yankees
And the Dodgers.
And the Dodgers.
and the Dodgers. Aaron Judge against Toronto.
Shohei.
Yeah.
But remember last year I said Texas was a dangerous team. There's one team out there that I really think is dangerous, and that's Cleveland.
Yeah.
Because they're well balanced offensively. They don't depend on hitting home runs to score all their
Right,
runs.
right. They're like
Their
a Cardinals team.
pitching
Yeah.
is solid. They got good starters, good middle inning relief
And
pitchers.
then you got a very good closer.
Their closers are kick butt.
Cleveland is what I wish Pittsburgh were to be. You
They know
they're gonna
how
go
to
out-
develop players.
You-
The Pirates don't.
Well, they just fired their hitting coach. He
Well,
got
and
ousted
another one,
finally.
They should have fired
The
him.
base coach.
They can
And I
hire
forget
Fred Flintstone. He can be a better hitting coach than that clown. I hate to be say like it.
Freddie Flintstone.
Yeah, Freddie Flintstone.
But
He used to play for Fourth Ward back then. Remember?
like,
The good old days.
I feel like this Cleveland and Detroit series might be a
pretty
long
good.
one. With
It is gonna be a
Detroit
good
rolling
game. Yep.
and Cleveland's always good. With
Detroit's
the
not a
talent-
bad baseball team.
No, they're
No,
not.
they're not.
They've drafted well over the years, and
They spent some money.
I watched a couple of these pitchers that they got, and they're exceptionally impressive.
Yeah.
And Cleveland hasn't won it since 1948 or something like
last
that.
time they were there, they played the Cubs and lost.
Yeah,
2016.
but I really think the Cleveland would be a tough out
Yeah.
for any team right now.
Just a little bit outside.
Yeah, just
Yeah,
a
just
bit
a little
outside.
Just a bit outside.
I mean, it would be great for the region.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, if they
Yeah.
got in.
yeah.
I think he's still doing the Brewers games.
Who? Euchre?
Yeah,
Euchre.
He still does
He
it.
still does it. He's still
He's
their
that-
radio guy.
One of the best
Oh,
baseball
yeah.
shows, comedy-wise.
Oh yeah, the Cleveland that
Wild
movie,
thing.
Wild Thing. Charlie Sheen.
So it's going to get interesting now. We're right in
Yes.
the meat of it.
This is the best time to watch
This is the
baseball.
best
If you're,
time to
if
watch
you're a
baseball.
baseball fan, this is
Yeah.
the time of the year that you
Well, I'm rooting. I always root for the underdog.
Mm.
So I like the Lions in the NFL, and I like the Tigers in
the Detroit
I'd
Tigers.
love to
and
see.
Cleveland.
And
Yeah,
You
Cleveland.
gotta root for
There's a
the-
lot of Cleveland fans out there.
you
Johnny
gotta-
Q
You
and
gotta
Redstone.
admire a small market team
Yeah,
That can
that,
win.
like Cleveland, that has been consistent over the years.
And they don't even spend that much on these
No,
guys. They
like
get
I
them
said,
for
they-
pennies.
They're good at developing their prospects.
and
Yep.
Pittsburgh is happy to put in an average of 20,000 people a game.
And their GM came
And
out and
making
said
money.
they would like to keep Shelton and hold him responsible for these past 2 years.
Yeah, he's coming back next year,
Just
Yep.
move on.
and the GM is coming back.
Yep.
But I think, Sig, the Pirates situation is it's going to be same suit every year. And they're pacified by making money through the TV rights, through the fans, because we've said it, it's the only show in town. So you're going to bring your family, and your family's going to bring families, and everybody's going to go into the ballpark and spend money.
Well, every time Skeens plays,
That place
packed.
fills.
and that's I don't know.
You gotta do something.
They said people were standing in the aisles at the game. He pitched the 2 innings just to see him and Judge and Soto him pitch against. He struck both of them out.
Yep.
He's a draw. It's a draw.
Oh, yeah,
It's,
he is.
You know, it's
I think I've seen something. It was like Judge's first time he went 0 for 5, and it was against the Pirates and Skeens. That he went 0 for 5 in his career.
I'm debating whether to renew. I had a 10-game season ticket package last year for the Pirates. But what they did to Roddy Telez,
that was awful.
That's
that was Bush, what they did to him. And so
watch how no
I don't
one wants
know.
to sign there now. If
yeah, that's right.
that's gonna hurt you now, because you don't want to pay a guy $200,000.
Mm-hmm.
They'll bring Kutch back. They'll have Skeen still for 3 more years, and that'll be it.
Reynolds.
Reynolds will be there. Cruz will be there.
Cruz,
Hayes will hopefully be back.
Dennis.
But we need.
Got your nephew Billy Cook playing.
Yeah. He plays right field, huh?
He's an out.
I didn't know
He's
Billy
an
was a right.
outfielder.
Yeah, I didn't
I didn't know
either.
Billy was a right
I
fielder.
didn't think so.
I haven't talked to him about that. I'm gonna. I can't
Oh,
wait.
Preston has.
I did on Friday.
He said you didn't know. What did he say? You didn't know I played for the Pirates, huh?
Oh, I forget what he said. No, because I seen them. I looked and just came upon how Baltimore had him. I sent it to him. I said, "Oh, I didn't know you played professionally." He goes, "Yeah, on my spare time I do." And then it was like a week later he got traded. I said, "You don't even really got to pack your bags." And he said, "No, I'm just probably gonna stay here and I'll drive down." And I got him Friday and I said, I forget what it was. He hit his home run. I go, "Did you go get that ball?" He goes, "Nah, I didn't really want it. I got enough." And then they got young guys that can play for them, but
Well, we'll see. We'll see what
see.
happens.
we'll see what they do.
You know, I didn't get to this segment because Chip and Frank had to leave, but we honored the 34 team last week.
I think so,
Yeah,
yes.
because
We did the 3 championship teams in a row.
Mhm.
Well, this is how ironic this is, that 34 team, Newcastle football team was 8-2, and they were WPL champions. The 1935 team, they were 10-0 and 1 tie.
Wow.
Wow.
1 tie, and probably that tie kept them from winning. It was just crazy. But they beat Braddock, it's 27-0. Butler 21-0, 19-0. They beat Warren. They beat Johnstown 24-7. Washington High School 26-0. A lot of goose eggs. Youngstown Cheney 47-0. Erie East 14-0. Charleroi they tied. Martins Ferry 26 or whatever the hell that is. New Kensington 6-0 and Sharon 6-0 for a record of 10-0-1. Probably playing the heaviest schedule in the history of the school.
Did they
The
win it?
1930 no, they didn't
No,
win
they
the
lost.
Whipville. The 1935 team remained undefeated throughout the season with 10 victories and 1 tie game with Charleroi. This team really surprised everyone, for the experts figured it would lose 4 or 5 games. That is, everyone was surprised but the team. And they had, actually, I'm catching a couple names here that played that we mentioned. Vicky, my sister-in-law Vicky's dad, Gabby, Dom DiCaprio, he played on the team.
Oh,
He was on that team. Anatomo, Descano, the Scano guy, and Mumford, and probably Cavalli is probably the Cavalli that coached it, Mike Cavalli that coached
at
it.
Union.
Union, yeah. So that was just a little piece of the glorious tradition there tonight. We wanted to talk about that. And like I said, every week we will try to talk about each team, win or lose. Next week will be the 1936 team. So as you can see, the records, stayed consistent with 8 or more wins. So that's about wraps it up here with the show tonight. I'm sure next week we're going to have a ton to talk about, and we'll be getting into the, again, we mentioned that high school football is already in week 7, which is really hard to believe, and the NFL is rolling, college football is rolling, and there's just so much to talk about. I wish we can stay here for hours and talk, but it's just not going to happen.
Right.
Hockey's starting up.
Hockey's going to be, I'm sure and the NBA is
NBA will be starting up.
so there's tons and tons.
You went
and tons.
from one MLB to now everything. NFL, basketball,
Yeah.
hockey,
Everything's
baseball.
all
This is
together
the
now.
They're
time of the
all
month.
together. And
So do your homework on the NHL, Zig, because we're going to quiz you next week on the Penguins. So
They
that's
look-
they're going to be playing in a couple weeks, correct?
yes,
They got preseason right now. They got a good amount of young guys that are looking good.
So he did draft some players.
I think this GM is doing a good job of accumulating draft picks. And so the cupboard shouldn't be bare as it was, before he
Right.
came
he
in.
came.
Right.
And then they put the goalie, Jari, on an off-season conditioning program to where he lost quite a bit of weight and he got a lot stronger. So my biggest complaint about him, he was always getting hurt.
Yeah. Right.
Or he was inconsistent. One
Yeah,
night he lets
so
up 9.
now, if he's physically tougher, hopefully he'll be mentally
Mentally tough.
tougher because they really need him.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
You
right.
got money. Sid left a good amount of money for him
Yeah,
to stay
and he
competitive.
always did.
He's always been 8.7 since
Yeah.
05 or 06 since he first signed. He's always been 8.7 on his contract every year.
But the thing with the Penguins, because of their age,
Right.
they might probably start out real strong, and then we'll see how it goes after the All-Star break.
It's always after the
How
first
they wear down.
few weeks after the All-Star break.
What about
Right.
the Pirates? Do they hit that All-Star break?
Yeah, they really went.
It's a
into
grind.
Yeah,
In
it is.
in-
No, it's a
in
grind.
in any professional sport.
They play
it's
a lot
grind.
of games
Lot of
too.
games. Lot of baseball games. I've said it. A lot of mentally and physically. The NFL is just brutal.
Yep.
Brutal.
MLB could be when you're young. You could one night you're in AA, next night you could be playing a
Yeah.
AAA game,
Yeah.
then you're getting called up to a major
Playing
league
a
game.
major league game. It's
That's-
how mentally
Really.
tough you are. So listen, we are praying for those victims from Helene.
Yes.
Hopefully those hurricanes stay in the ocean, because there's a couple more I see, and hopefully they don't, that was a catastrophe what
Yeah.
went through the Florida people. We have friends down there. I'm sure you guys have friends down there too. And, we're praying for you out there, so.
Yep.
Hope everything works out, and we'll be back here next week, God willing. And like I said, I got Jack Sorenzik on the hook, Kenny Lebovi on the hook, and Danny Farrell that played here. We got him one night. I hope he just pops in here and gives us 15, 20 minutes of his time.
Good.
So thank you guys for coming. It was narrowed down to 4. We got the job done. That's all,
Right.
that's all we're gonna do. This is a very low-keyed podcast. It's just a bunch of friends, and we've said this millions of times too, a bunch of friends. Watch this little guy from this big.
Yep.
Watch this guy from this big. Me and Zig are just the old guys in the crew right tonight. So, we had fun. Thank you, Ronnie Mounts, for producing
Yep,
us
thanks,
tonight. And, we are gonna go out to eat. I think tonight we're going to Riardo's. So, good night. Have a great week, and Preston, you can leave it with Bob. He tells us every week.
Keep working.
Good night.
Good night.
We all know there's an advantage to being the home team, to playing at home. And at LGKG, we have been your home team for personal injury cases involving automobile accidents and workers' compensation claims for over 90 years. At LGKG, over 10,000 clients have trusted us to represent them. We know how to present your case to a Western Pennsylvania jury. We know what makes them tick. We know how to win.